Hello, welcome again to Summit, our program where we discuss national issues and it encompasses everything that has to do with us in Nigeria. My name is Jumoke Michaels. It's good to have you join us again. Today on the program, we'll be looking at the issue of health, particularly the issue of Down syndrome. What's government doing about that? People hardly talk about this issue, especially because it affects children. And not just that it affects children, children are born with Down syndrome. Today on the program, I have a mother who has a child with Down syndrome. And we'll be talking holistically about this health issue or this health challenge this morning. I have with me in the studio Dr. Kemi Adediran, PhD. She's a mother to a child with Down syndrome. She's also a university lecturer. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you on Summit for the first time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so the purpose of this interview is to gain insight into your experiences, challenges, and triumphs as a mother with a child with Down syndrome. Your responses will help us better understand the needs of families with children with Down syndrome and also inform support services. So that's the purpose for this interview, because it will help other mothers, other families who have children with Down syndrome. All right, so let's start with a bit, telling us a bit about your child with Down syndrome. Where do you want to start from?
Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
You're welcome.
So the child was named Zuriel.
Zuriel.
Zuriel. And it means God my rock. You know. We have named him even before he was born. We did not know that we would need God on the journey of his life. He's 13 years old now. He's going to 14 later on in the year. And so far, we have been making consistent but slow progress, but he's been moving.
Consistent but slow progress. That's very emotional. Consistent but slow. All right, so let's start from the beginning when you were told that the child had Down syndrome. Can you tell us about that experience and that beginning part of his life?
Okay, so when it was mentioned to me that I had a different child, even before it was mentioned, I was wondering why his face was the way it was. I met him for the first time in an emergency ward, ICU. It was a cesarean section at a private hospital. You know, so I was in that unconscious state, and the boy was in an emergency, rushed to a government hospital. So we were separated from birth. When I eventually met him after 5 days, I started wondering why his face was the way it was. And he looked like children that I have met that had that kind of face. So I was still wondering. But after a few hours, doctors sat me down, told me about him. And so one of my first reaction was uncertainty. I didn't know. Later on, it became sadness and fear. So we started from there until gradually I started learning more about what Down syndrome could be. I never expected that I would have one of those children.
All right. So what were some of the biggest challenges you faced when your child was first diagnosed? What were the major challenges you faced?
When he was born, I was sort of, let me say, alone. He has a father who was working out of town. And my mother, who would have been there with me was also out of the country. So with my CS pains, I had to brace up and care for him full time on my own. And then, my biggest challenge at that time was that I didn't know what to do with him in my hands. So we were just there, and I would just cry and feed him daily like that until I started to read. I went to the internet and started to read. So
what were some of the frightening things the doctor told you? Because I know the doctors would have been very factual with you. What were some of the things they told you that brought fear into your heart about the child?
Yes. Okay, so after I started wondering why he looked the way he looked in the hospital, and I was called, we sat down and they said, we need to tell you about your child. And there are some things, yes, he's diagnosed with Down syndrome, and there are some things that you should expect and you should not also expect, as his siblings. He has siblings? I said, yes. I said, there are some things you should not expect from this one. He's, reaching milestones, sitting, walking. He may not be the way the other ones were. We're not sure if he will sit, if he will walk, if he will do the things that the others were doing.
Wow. I can just imagine, hearing such words about the child you just gave birth to. All right, so what types of support system do you have in place for yourself and the child? Like family, friends, and support groups. How did you navigate all that? Because you actually said you were all alone when this news was broken to you. Nobody was actually close to you, but talking about support system, how were you able to handle it?
Okay, so his father was someone who used to go and come. So anytime he's around, whatever he could do to help, he would do. But one support he gave me that I appreciate the most was if there was anything that I wanted for the boy, that I felt he needed to have more comfort, he was willing to go with it. If I just say, what do you want? What next can we do to help the boy? He would cooperate.
So what about government support?
Yes.
What about government support?
At that time, I appreciate government support a lot. I was, I enjoyed the health insurance scheme. The company I was with gave us full, health cover. Afterwards, we always change healthcare providers, and they too gave us full coverage, except for when it came to having accessories. If you want, most of the tests the boy went through was fully covered, except for when he needed hearing aids accessories, and that was where it wasn't covered. But most of his treatments, tests, examinations were covered. Let me say up to 80%. And that was one of the challenges we had as salary and as both of us. There were some of the tests that the government didn't cover that we were not able to handle either. Yes.
So you had to leave those ones. You weren't able to do them.
Yes.
At that time.
Yes.
All right. So when it comes to schooling, because the typical Nigerian way is that when a child is diagnosed with Down syndrome or autism or, all those challenges, parents have the tendency of keeping these children at home. you find out that most of these children are not allowed to go to school. They are not allowed to be in the public space. Now, did you do that for your child, or you ensured that he got some form of schooling? Do you allow him to go out and all that? Please share that part of his life with us.
Okay, so as Zuriel was growing, he had an older sibling, and they will watch cartoon. They will sing along. Maybe after 2 or 3 years, I noticed that he was following the singing along. You know, he started trying to copy
His brother.
And the
what he
cartoon,
was watching.
What he was watching. So I felt, okay, if he can sing, if he can follow, let me take him to school. However,
That's at between 2-3 years.
yes, no, between, let's say 3-4.
3-4 years. Okay.
Yes. So I started hunting for a special needs school. I got wind of this Catholic school at Abuja, the Daughters of Charity. So I went there. Yes, they have a school, but by the time the nuns met Zuriel, they took him into the class. There was a class full of children with special needs, autism, a mixture of them. And Zuriel blended. He's a happy child. He's always smiling. So he made friends with them for the first time. So upon examining him, his friendliness, he took a seat by himself. He looked for an empty seat and sat down by himself. And the woman called me and said, "Madam, take this child to a mainstream school. You can see him aspiring, aspiring to be like the people he has met in the class. So take him to a mainstream school so that he will aspire to be like those other children. If he stays here, he will enjoy himself, he will have fun, but he will not grow beyond the level of the people in his class."
With.
So she gave me that advice, and the hunting for a mainstream school started. We took him to school. We got a school that was willing to accept him. They didn't have children with special needs in that school. But the first time they met him, they took him.
And so how was he coping in that environment, or how did he cope in that environment?
Yes, he was quite playful, and I used to be afraid. He would swing. He was doing everything the other children were doing. He would swing, he would slide, he would want to run, and his feet were not very strong on the ground. So I was always on edge. And the school would say, "Don't worry, don't worry, you'll be fine." You know, so he had full acceptance.
All right,
school.
so while he was in the mainstream school, was he being given any form of therapy? You know, was there any special attention being given to him, even though he was in a mainstream school?
Well, from where we started, they didn't have any special needs teacher.
Okay.
They were just trying their best to include him in their system. And that was where also my dissatisfaction was. I wanted a place where they had people specially trained for such children.
Yeah.
Yes, so I started changing school, looking for another option. We got a place where the main teacher was actually training herself, maybe additional qualification, you know, for special needs children. When I interrogated the woman, she said she discovered that she has a passion for them, and so on her own started training herself. So I engaged her privately. At school, she was with him in class, and then at home, I engaged her privately. She would also come home.
Okay. So that helped him in a way too?
Yes.
To be able to learn faster and easier? Okay. All right, so let's talk about some specific support services or resources that you feel are lacking that could be beneficial to children? Okay, let's say special needs children, even though we're talking about Down syndrome. What, in your experience over the years, you said Zuriel is 13 now, he's
Yes.
going to 14.
Yes.
So we're talking about 13 years or 14 years of experience with this child. So in your journey in taking care of this boy, what are some resources, support, services that you feel are lacking that could be beneficial to these children?
One thing I appreciate is the insurance scheme that the government put in place. I would also suggest that caregivers for these children, maybe blind, maybe deaf, any category of children requiring special needs, should also be encouraged by the government.
All right, so what message, what, is there anything else you'd like to share about your exposure
Yes.
as a mother of a child with Down syndrome?
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, so most of the people I engaged to assist Zuriel with his learning were private teachers, private support specialists, but they were way beyond my reach financially. I struggled to engage them only for short periods. So those were the issues, the difficulties we experienced, in bringing him up.
So it's not that they are not available, but they are expensive for people who are like salary earners and, of course, mid-class in the society.
Yes.
Wow.
So if it was available like the health insurance, if government had it available like the health insurance, I would engage
Have
them.
benefited from that.
Yes.
All right. So are there any specific issues or topics that you'd like to see addressed in the future, aside issue of government being part of providing education or educators for these children?
I would like to see a system where they will be assisted to discover and improve on the talents they have. At some point in time, the parents may not be there, caregivers or support may not be as frequent as we have them.
Yeah.
And sometimes to even take these children off the hands of the mother to give, or the parents, to give them
For
time,
form of independence.
some form of independence, the parents to have a form of rest. They need to develop skills. I would like to see such a system available, because right now we are at that point where we would like to even see what talents and skills Zuriel can develop and be able to stand for himself.
Have you, but for watching him, what skills do you think he can engage in? Or do you think that should be left to the educators to discover? As his mother, what do you think, what skills do you think he can develop?
Well, I've been thinking in the area of home care. Home care. I saw online an autistic child. I've been thinking, but I now saw that, yes, it could be possible. I saw an autistic child being trained to fold clothes, maybe in an hotel, fold bed sheets, fold clothes. And I said, yes, I've been thinking of this. Zuriel could learn this. In the past few days, we took a short holiday, and where we are, he sleeps and wakes up, and I saw him fold the cloth he slept with. I said, yes, we could do this. And then he also has flexible limbs. And I'm also thinking, could he be trained for maybe kinesthetics or something, be taught to use his limbs? They are very flexible. So right now, that's where we are, trying to identify and see how we can help him develop the little things that I have noticed, or if we can even identify more of the things that he could do. I tried music, but he didn't catch up with it.
Even though he sings with cartoons that he watches.
He didn't catch up with it. So
Okay.
we could use help
Okay.
in that area.
Okay. All right. So I think before we leave, I think you should share with others a message to parents who have a special needs child and they really do not know what to do about it. You know, instead of complaining and murmuring and being fearful, what would you advise them to do?
Like I said, I too started from a place of fear. And gradually, faith and resilience grew in me. Nobody plans to have them. Nobody prepares to have them, except if with technology, you know that this is a special needs child coming. But nobody generally prepares to have them. But when you find them in your hand, you know, I have gone through it. So I would use my story to embrace them. Their first need is love. When the baby was handed to me at birth, they said, what this child needs is love. Just go home and love him. They didn't tell me to do any other thing. They said, go home and love him. So let's love them. Let's not keep them hidden. In Zuriel school, other parents that have such children at home started coming out.
Wow.
Can you take my child? We keep them hidden. Don't hide them. They are God's gifts. Bring them out, celebrate them, and by the grace of God, we will have joy too.
You also wrote a book about Zuriel. What was your intention for writing that book?
Yes, my intention was to encourage parents too. Like I said, don't keep them hidden. Our transition from fearful and crying mother to one who is now telling a story.
Yeah.
God came in. Things that happened in his life, in his development, in reaching one milestone or the other, it's not because I fed him well, not because I provided nutritious food. A child whose limbs and neck were always hanging, to a child whose neck suddenly stood up one day. When he does such things, I will shake and be afraid. A child whom you will put to sit down and will fall flat on his face. So I knew that it wasn't me. So the place of faith is also there. Don't lose your faith. I understand that it's a fearful journey, but you must be full of faith too.
So in case people want to access this book, Meet Zuriel is the title of this book. How can people access that book so that they can read more of your story and get encouraged?
Okay, firstly, the book is on Amazon, amazon.com. It's there. And for physical copies, I would like to leave my phone number or the phone number of the presenter, and then we'll be able to guide you on how to receive.
All right, so you can
physical
just
copies.
drop your phone number. You can just mention your phone
Okay.
number.
Two numbers, 080-2222-8546. And the second number, 39182155.
I think you should repeat the two numbers again.
080-2222-8546 and 080-3918-2155.
All right. So Dr. Kemi Adediro is a mother with a child with Down syndrome. And through her experiences, she's willing to help and encourage others who have this kind of child or a child with Down syndrome or special needs to help you on this journey. Is not easy. So when you talk with someone who has been through the experience, it makes the journey easier somehow. So please, she's available and you can get in touch with her. tell her your story, and find out the things that you can do that will make the journey easier. Thank you for being a part of this program and coming to share your
Thank you.
experience. God bless you.
Amen.
And I wish you well. I wish Zuriel well, and it will be well with him.
Amen. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so this is still Summit, and like we always do, we'll go to the next segment of the program, talking about issues of development in Lagos State. So please enjoy that package, and please don't forget that the program will come to you again next week. So stay by and enjoy another edition of the program. See you again. I am Jumoke Michaels. Bye-bye.